The world is made of teeth. Teeth of ice on every branch. Teeth of wind that gnaw the skin. For this clan of Homo heidelbergensis, the sun is a weakened, distant god. Its light a pale stain in a perpetually grey sky. This is the heart of a great cold. A killing winter that has forgotten the memory of spring. The streams, once their lifelines, are now solid veins of stone. The ponds are milky cataracts staring blindly at the clouds. Every morning, the desperate work begins. They dull. Percussive sound of rocks striking frozen water. They hammer until their knuckles are raw, shattering the surface into shards. But the ice they collect is a cruel trickster. It numbs the mouth and cracks the lips, offering only a ghost of moisture for an agony of cold. The children cry with a thirst that burns hotter than any fire they can build. This prolonged glacial period has rewritten the rules of prehistoric life. The old woman, one eye, watches the futility. Her face is a map of scars and hardships, but her good eye holds a different kind of light. The faint glimmer of foresight, born from living more seasons than any other. She rises, her joints crackling like dry twigs. She ignores the gnawing in her own belly, the rasp in her own throat. Her focus is singular. She walks to the clan's leader, a powerful male named Rokhand, and points. Her finger, bent and gnarled, aims not at the frozen streams but past the skeletal forest, towards the low, brooding hills shrouded in mist. She makes a sign, water, then mimics the rising of steam with her hands. A sound rumbles in her chest. A memory-given voice. Others see only a fool's hope. But Rokhand, who has seen her wisdom save them before, trusts the ghost in her memory. He trusts the deep, unspoken bond of their community. A decision is made without a single word. It is a hard choice, abandoning the devil they know for a sliver of a chance. The journey is a slow-motion nightmare. They move as one body, a fragile organism against the vast, frozen landscape. The strong shield the weak from the wind. The young are curried, their snarl, cold faces tucked into hairy necks. These are our human ancestors. Their survival a constant negotiation with death. After 2 days of relentless walking, a new scent cuts through the frozen air. It is damp, alive, and tinged with the sulfur stink of the earth's guts. Cold, sharp and painful, quickens their steps. A crest of final, snow-dusted ridge and see it. A pool, nestled in a rocky basin, breathes a thick white cloud into the air. Life, but life is never given freely. Standing knee-deep in the steaming water is the true lord of this place, a bull mega loc Eros, a giant of the Pleistocene, larger than any beast they have ever seen. His head lifts, water dripping from his chin. His antlers are not horns. They are a forest of bone, a crown of thorns that scrapes the low-hanging branches of the frost-killed trees. He is a force of nature, an embodiment of this harsh, unforgiving world. The clan freezes, their hope turning instantly to a cold, primal fear. The water is here, but it belongs to a god. They retreat from the ridge. The image of the beast burned into their minds. Thirst is no longer a dull ache. It is a sharp, immediate presence. A torment made worse by the knowledge that relief is so close, yet guarded by an impossible power. They find a shallow overhang of rock, a place to huddle but not to live. And what? This is the crucible of human evolution, where the brute force of the past is hammered into the sharp edge of intellect. To fight the mega loc Eros Gigantus is to die. Its hooves could shatter bone. Its antlers could impale 3 hunters at once. Rokhand grips the familiar weight of his aculine hand axe. But he knows its masterfully napped edge is useless here. This is not a problem that can be solved with flint. This is a problem that must be solved with thought. The clan observes for a full day and night cycle. They are students of survival. Their university, the unforgiving landscape. They map the beast's movements in their minds, a form of cognitive mapping essential to the hunter-gatherer existence. It drinks at dawn, its great head bowed. It patrols the perimeter of its steamy domain in the morning, rubbing its massive antlers against the frozen rocks of pines. leaving deep scars in the bark. It rests in the afternoon, showing its COD, its massive body a living mountain in the clearing. At dusk, it drinks again before settling. The pattern is the key. The beast is predictable. Its power is absolute, but its attention is not. Here, in this tiny floor, is their chance. The plan is born in gestures and guttural sounds, a complex strategy communicated through the shared language of desperation. It is a plan of ghosts. 3 will be chosen. 2 will be the diversion, the noise. The third, the fastest and lightest among them, will be the thief. A young male named Fleet, whose legs are long and powerful, is given the water skins, stitched bladders that are their most precious technology. To older, more experienced hunters take a handful of stones each. This is an act of supreme trust, a demonstration of altruism where individuals risk everything for the collective. If the timing is off by a heartbeat, the thief will be caught. If the noise is not convincing enough, the beast will not turn. Their lives are now braided together. As the pale sun bleeds into the horizon, they move. The 2 stone throwers creep along the ridge to the far side of the spring. Fleet presses himself into a fissure in the rocks, his body trembling, not from the cold, but from the coiled spring tension of a predator who has willingly become prey. The air is still. The only sounds are the huffing breath of the giant elk and the gentle lapping of the warm water. Then, the sharp crack. A stone strikes a boulder far to the beast's left. Its head, a colossal weight of bone and horn, snaps up. Another crack. To the right this time. The elk is annoyed. It takes a few ponderous, ground-shaking steps toward the sound, its dark eyes scanning the dead trees for the source of the disturbance. This is the moment. Fleet explodes from the rocks. He is not a man, but a blur of motion, a fleeting shadow against the snow. He doesn't run to the water's edge, but to a small trickle that flows from the main pool. A less conspicuous spot. He plunges the bladders in, the gurgling sound of them filling impossibly loud in the silence. The beast snorts, its attention wavering. It turns its head back. Fleet is already gone, scrambling back into the rocks, the life-giving water sloshing against his chest. The clan has its water, but the ghost must learn to walk every day. The ritual becomes their new, terrible reality. Every dusk, the ghosts slip through the trees, their hearts pounding in a rhythm set by fear and necessity. They steal water from a god, a few precious skins at a time. It is enough to keep the clan alive. But the razor's edge they walk upon grows thinner with each passing day. The Mega LOC Eros is not stupid. It is an ancient power, part of the Pleistocene megafauna, and it senses the persistent, alien scent that now taints its sanctuary. It grows more agitated, its patrols less predictable. It begins to feign interest in the thrown stones, only to whip its massive head back towards the pool with unnerving speed. The hunt for water is no longer a plan. It is a gamble. This is the brutal calculus of prehistory. The odds of survival diminish with every repeated risk. The moment they all feared arrives on a day when the wind is sharp enough to carry betrayal. Fleet is at the trickle, his fingers numb, struggling to tie a water skin. The elk, which had seemed distracted by the hunters on the ridge, suddenly pivots. There is no sound, just a silent, impossible turn of its colossal body. It sees him. A bellow of fury rips through the frozen quiet, a sound that vibrates in their bones. Fleet doesn't hesitate. He abandons the skins and runs, his lungs burning with icy air. The ground trembles as the beast gives chase. It is not a race. It is an execution. But the clan moves as one organism. Rock hand into others break cover from the opposite side, screaming, waving their arms, brandishing their useless hand axes. It is a desperate, suicidal display. They are not trying to fight it, but to split its focus, to confuse the simple, direct rage of a territorial monarch. For a critical second, it works. The giant elk skids to a halt, its head swiveling between the fleeing thief and the new, noisy threats. The delay is all Fleet needs. He throws himself into a deep crevasse. A scar in the earth he had marked during his long hours of observation. He vanishes. The elk, robbed of its primary target, bellows again in frustration. It thrashes its antlers against a nearby pine, splintering the trunk as if it were at will. The display of power is absolute. The hunters melt back into the shadows, their hearts hammering against their ribs. Fleet is alive, but the game has changed. Their intelligence has been met, their pattern discovered. To return to the spring now, under the old plan, is a death sentence. This is the emotional turning point. The terror of the near miss solidifies into a stark choice. They can die of thirst, hiding in their shelter, or they can risk everything on one final, audacious act. Become a chronicler of this fragile dawn. Bury your hand in the cold ash of their fire and feel the faint, lingering warmth of their will. They gather in the fading light, a council of ancient humans. One eye. The matriarch holds up a piece of pine bark dripping with sticky, flammable resin. She points to it, then to a torch used for their fire. She makes a motion of throwing, not a stone this time, but fire itself, toward the far edge of the clearing, where the wind blows away from their hiding place. It is a terrifying, brilliant leap of logic. Fire is their most sacred tool, a piece of the sun they hold in their hands. To use it as a weapon against the forest itself is an act of profound desperation. Rockhand understands. He sees the whole strategy in a single gesture. A blaze large enough not just to distract the beast, but to frighten it. To introduce an element of chaos so profound it might drive the elk away from the water long enough for them to fill every skin they possess. It is a final roll of the dice, a gambit that could secure their survival through the rest of the winter, or leave them with nothing but ashes. They do not conquer the beast. They do not kill the god. They simply endure. The fire, a terrifying spectacle of roaring light and shadow, drives the panicked Mega LOC Eros from its spring long enough for them to take what they need. They retreat into the frozen world with their bounty, leaving the beast to reclaim its wounded territory. Their victory is not one of dominion, but of intellect and desperate cooperation. This small clan of Homo heidelbergensis, huddled in the face of an unforgiving glacial age, demonstrates the essential blueprint of our species. Their success is not etched in stone monuments but in the silent, invisible architecture of the human mind. The ability to observe, to plan, to trust, and to sacrifice for the person shivering next to you. These acts, repeated over millions of years of hominid history, are the bedrock of our existence. Their struggle poses a silent question that echoes down to our own time, when the world we know freezes over, and the resources we lead are guarded by giants of our own making. Will we have the courage and the cunning to do what is necessary, not for glory, but simply to see the next dawn? This is our chronicle, a testament to the quiet desperation that forged our very soul. And what happens when the force of nature they must endure is not a beast, but a fire inside their own minds?